Hey, everybody, welcome. Mike Crawford, Young Jerk. So I'm mute for just 1 second. Figured it out. But we're waiting for Kathleen Howley, and I just figured I would go live because I definitely am still feeling COVID, but I'm feeling good tonight. I'm feeling really good today. The third Betero letter. If you haven't seen it, go check out TB Daily News. Check it out right now, Turtle Boy. It's unbelievable. KP. And I got to say, I feel really good about this whole thing. After what they tried to do to Aiden, obviously, they've done to Aiden. But even what they tried to do to me in that little BS, it just pissed me off more. And it just made me want to do more shows. And just even having like 1% contribution to those letters today, which was my thing was I found Betero on Twitter. I got him interested in this. And to see him oh, it feels good tonight. I gotta just say it. I just gotta say it. It's gotta feel good for Turtle Boy, for Aiden, but it feels good for me personally. I just like you guys messed with the wrong people. You know, Michael Morrissey, you are a sack of shit, dude. You are a piece of shit. You know? Meatball Morrissey. You thought you could fuck with me? We brought in Betero, bro. Maybe I'm gloating a little too early, but the shit that's just coming out. It's exactly what I said for the longest time on the show. I remember when I first going through all that BS and I tried to explain to people and people doubted me on what was actually happening. And it's like, no, this is what's happening. KP, Tully, Morrissey, secret emails and unbelievable how shady Morrissey is. Morrissey needs to resign. Maura Healey, where the hell are you? Ask for Morrissey's resignation. Be bold. Do something. Stop doing just PR. So I'm feeling good. I don't know if Kathleen's going to show. I think here she is. I think she's finally. She's having some technical issues. And I think she just figured it out. So I think she's here. I got to go off. Can you tell I'm feeling better? Yeah, Betero is wicked smart. That's what I feel so good about. We got Betero. Everyone's like, everyone keeps telling me since I came back from COVID. Well, I got to say, last night's show was friggin' amazing. Brian, if you guys didn't listen to that show, like the second half of it, listen to that show. That was just a really good show about law enforcement, about what they go through. If you're a policymaker, if you're anybody that cares about police or just knowing more about it, that was a great show last night. I want to thank Mazza Media and I want to thank Brian from LV Cops TV. LV Cops TV. Follow both of them, Mazza Media and LV Cops TV. And I'm eating wings tonight because Mazza, I gotta tell you, this is my dedication to Mazza tonight. He's my I don't want to say he's my MVP, but he's like my utility play. Like he's so good. He is a good dude. And Brian last night was amazing. And we got a guest here tonight. We're going to talk about, I got so much I'm covering. Oh boy, we got a lot coming up, folks, next few weeks. So just make sure you're checking us out. Tonight, we're going to get into the Canton police audit. And this is an exclusive interview that we have with Kathleen Howley. You've seen her week after week at these Canton police audit. Her and David Cloud doing great work with these other three bozos. And it's come to a point where now we have bids. And Kathleen's been very careful about, speaking out and doing press. And she's been watching her show. And she thinks this is, I think, the right time and right venue to share some stuff. I don't think she's going to get too spicy tonight. But I might, because I've been getting information from different sources, and We're definitely. I don't think we're gonna get. I don't think I'm gonna get all into that tonight, but I'm definitely going to get more into Canton. Believe me. And one of the hidden people that we haven't even talked about in the town that's really pulling the strings. But we're gonna play some special town meeting probably at the end of the show tonight, just to revisit some history, and that's what we're gonna do a lot more on the Canton police audit. But tonight it's Kathleen Howley. Let's give her a round of applause and send her lots of love tonight. And questions, if you have questions for Kathleen Howley, because here she is. We're going to bring her up. Well, hopefully everything works out here. Let's see how her audio and video is doing. Hi, Kathleen.
Hi, Mike. Can you hear me?
Yes, you sound good.
Good. This isn't my usual camera angle. I'm now on my personal laptop after my desktop and my work laptop both weren't cooperating. So, but
It happens.
I'm here.
You're here. I mean, that's the most important thing. We can hear you too.
Good. And so I did want to, first of all, I wanted to start by thanking all the people who, as people know, I'm going through chemo, and just so much kindness that's been shown, including, flowers and people dropping off food and, entrusting me with their Tupperware, which I was brought up to believe that is a very sacred responsibility to return Tupperware. So don't worry, it's all set aside with your names on it, and I'll get it back to you when I'm feeling better. But I'm so good. People have seen Canton in the press with not such a great representation, but there's a reason that so many people want to live here. It's a wonderful town with kind people and incredible history and beautiful architecture. So this is just one example of why we love Canton. It's the community that a lot of us feel, that loss of that sense of community because of the happenings in the town in the last few years.
And we just had a huge number of Canton police audit meetings. Some of them were very contentious. Police. I mean, it was just, and then the last one, we have bids now. I mean, this is where it's going to get interesting now. So I figured you might want to talk about where we're at, because it's been a long process for people, maybe new people too that don't know. Maybe you could tell us about where we've come in this police audit and the history of it and where we're at right now.
Yeah, so this came about because citizens, and this is the only example I know of a citizen-led effort to have an independent, and the most important word in this description is the independent part, an independent police audit of their town's police department. I don't know of any other. But we started the drive to collect signatures at the end of last summer. And it's Massachusetts law that if you present your select board with more than with 200 signatures of verified signatures, meaning voters registered in that town, then they have to call a special town meeting. And we got well over 300. I mean, we had so many to spare. And what happened is that just ordinary people, most of whom had never been involved in their government before, came together and gathered signatures and worked so hard and gave up so many weekends doing this. And this is a result of that effort. We had developed the system of collecting signatures, and the ones that people mostly saw, we would say would be in Starbucks, this weekend between these hours. And it was so many people who turned out, and I'm grateful to them. This is the results of their efforts. And then we had a special town meeting that again involved more people, getting people out and holding signs saying, vote yes. And we ordinarily, about 250 people turn out for the annual town meeting that approves our entire annual budget of, now it's over $150 million. It's enormous. All taxpayer dollars, mostly from local property taxes. But if you live in the state of Massachusetts, there are state dollars in there as well. Like you have some of your tax money is used in any of the towns throughout Massachusetts. And sometimes it's by grants. But so usually about 250 people, maybe 300 are approving the entire town budget. And at the annual town meeting, we had a vote in favor of the independent police audit of 903 to 800. So, and that was under very difficult circumstances, because one of the issues we have in Canton, and maybe other small towns have this issue, but there's so much intimidation that occurs. I think this might be somewhat unique to Canton, perhaps, that if you try to speak out and say something that is not, that people don't like, then they, bully you online. They'll send threatening letters through the mail. They do all of this, and it's all put up with. There are laws against harassing people online, but they don't seem to be enforced. So these were very brave people who voted, who put up their hand to vote yes, because it had to be done publicly, because the people who were against the audit voted against having a system that the moderator had come up with so people could vote privately. So you had to be brave to do this. So 903 voted yes, triple the amount that usually approves our town budget. And that is the will of the people. And we do live in a democracy. And we've seen, and I'm happy to go into it, some unusual things happening post-audit where the opposition was not dropped after the people spoke. Oops, Mike, I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Sorry. One of the things you didn't mention, but you kind of did mention, but you didn't specify, is there was political opposition even before you put it on the ballot. And it went so far, and it's crazy because I've never seen something like this before. Like, been involved in a lot of town politics and signature gathering for all types of policies and proposals and campaigns. And I've never seen a police force investigate signature gathering. I've never seen that happen at local town police, and especially a police force where the question's about the police force. It's like, it's so obvious that they shouldn't have announced that they were doing a police investigation of signature gathering, but they did. And then it took a while for them to figure out that what they were doing was totally illegal and crazy and insane. And this is your police chief that is doing this to you. Right. Can you comment on that? Because to me, I'm still flabbergasted by that. I sent her a message about it. I was angry. Like, I was nasty to her. That's why I haven't asked for any other FOIAs from her ever again, because I don't want to have her make a deal about it, because that angered me that they did that to you about signature gathering. So I think you should comment on that part of it, because it just shows you how there is no fair dealing with the police department, with Helena Rafferty and the town, when they're investigating signature gathering that's legal. There was no crime committed that is about the police force. So I'd love you to comment on that.
I got a phone call from a detective who was very insistent, and I still call it the most un-American question I've ever been asked. Insistent on knowing who the other signature gathering people, he wanted names so that he could then go and do the same to them. And I mean, this was very insistent. I mean, almost Gestapo-like. This was a very serious crime, and I had to give him the names of the people who collected signatures. And at that point, he had already gone to, or I don't know if it was him at all these, but several houses visiting people who had signed, because you sign your address. There's never, can't, as far, I haven't been able to find any other example of them ever investigating signature gatherings. And, we don't have the ability, all we would do is say, would you like to sign a petition and explain it? And then say, are you a registered voter in Canton? Like, we're not aware of any authority we have to check people's, you must present an ID. This is a common question that people ask when gathering signatures for any petition. Are you a registered voter in whatever the name of the town is? And by the way, we had well over 300, we had 330 something signatures, something like that, when we only needed 200. So I just think that this was some sort of thing that some people had planned, and that even though we got way, way, way more signatures than we needed. They still went through with their plan and said fraudulent signatures. You know, we
Which is
didn't need
even
those fake
worse that
signatures.
they planned this, that they,
Yeah,
I mean, this is how sick this is. This is the
right.
sickest thing I've ever seen in my
And
life. To
when I posted about that in the Facebook group Canton Confidential, I wanted to alert people that because I felt so bad for people to have signed this petition and they might get a visit from the police. And it was very helpful to get the word out, because at first people were shocked, and then people were coming up with, well, I'm going to say this or that, like it was sort of a group courage that the group developed a lot of courage, and as they were discussing it online, I'm going to say this. And so that was an example of, courage in numbers. And people did have to be brave to sign this petition. And some people said, no, I can't sign it. I support this, but I can't sign it because of this intimidation in town. And I would like to say that this was reported in the Canton Citizen as me refusing to cooperate with police. And I would have described it as me refusing to violate the First Amendment rights of others. That just seemed bizarre. I was raised to always, support the police, to cooperate with the police. Just before moving to Canton, I got excused from a jury, from doing jury duty, because they asked, is anyone here more likely to believe the word of a police officer than an ordinary citizen? Me. That's how I was raised. I got off a jury. I don't think I would get off that jury today, based on my experience in Canton, but I was raised in a military family, a family where an uncle was law enforcement, and most of the people gathering signatures all were all supporters of the police. But we were concerned about public safety in our town. And some, as taxpayers, some people who supported this as taxpayers were saying, I just want to make sure I'm getting, good results, for, the best bang for my buck, or make sure my tax dollars are. Audits are very ordinary in the private sector. They don't mean that you hate anybody. There's no implication that you hate anybody. You just want to make sure things are being done right.
it's crazy. I mean, that's exactly what I messaged her too. I was like, can you show me one other example that you've ever investigated signature gathering? Helena Rafferty.
Yeah.
She couldn't. She was like, and she tried to like narrow it down, like it was, it had only been a couple years, you're not going to find that in any town. Like, there's not a town in Massachusetts, I don't think, that has investigated signature gathering. There have been some scandals about signature gathering, but it's with the paid dark money type situation, not some local volunteers put in a question before that town. That never, ever happens. This was so shady on so many levels. And the state just, when Helena finally had to refer it to the state just basically said, oh, this is nothing.
But can I add that in the news story about this, saying, well, because of a conflict of interest, they had now decided to turn it over to the state.
Where it should have gone from the very beginning.
Right, from the beginning. But even in that, go back and look at that article. It says, but if any citizens have any information, to call Detective blah, blah, blah at this number at the Canton Police Department. And it just seems to me, this town, the conflict of interest laws in Massachusetts are not complicated. So I don't know if it's, a lack of understanding or unwillingness, to understand. Conflict of interest rules are not that hard to follow. People do it in the private sector all the time. I did it. I've been a financial journalist my entire life. And if I ever reported on a stock that I held, I would have been fired
without disclosing it. I mean, you could disclose it and report on it, but then, people aren't going to, to make their own conclusions. But you would go through the regulators. I was a financial guy too. I know all about that stuff. Yeah. It's like, you have to really make sure that you don't have conflicts. And if you do, you have to disclose them, usually to your compliance person above you that takes care of that shit. And they tell you what you can and cannot do and all that stuff.
It was made very clear to me, I was a Bloomberg reporter for 15 years, that you cannot report. That was their rule to go above. You cannot, even rule. If you forget disclosing it. It was a fireable offense.
Yeah,
we all knew it, and we all followed it. It's not that hard. It's not that hard to follow conflict of interest rules.
Yeah, Today, it's like stock pumping stuff that goes on YouTube. You would not believe. I exposed a big scam, and those guys are still doing it, and they got fined by the SEC. It's unbelievable the stuff that goes on now with all that. Where people they buy the stocks, they front run them, they sell them to these dupes as they hype the stock on YouTube. It's crazy. But
You know,
go
one of
ahead.
the things I did want to get out is there is a meeting tomorrow at the Canton Library in the community room. There was an error when the agenda first went out, that at the top it said 1:30 tomorrow, and in the body of the agenda it said 1 o'clock. And unfortunately, someone just sent me a link to the Canton Citizen. Apparently, they're reporting that the meeting starts at 1:30. So the information I have is that it starts at 1 in the community room of the Canton Library. There's not an ability from that location to broadcast live, but
No, isn't that funny? Why does that keep happening? Is that a gimmick that they're doing, like to not let us stream it? They don't want it on the Young Jerks. Is that what it
um,
is? I mean,
many meetings, many town meetings. I mean, if you're not in the sala room at the town hall or the where the school committee meets, and we asked for that, and they said no, then it's not. It can't be streamed live, but they're going to get it up as soon as they can. But I wanted to make the point that this is a special purpose meeting to interview the bidder that came in first in the rankings. And the library has graciously agreed to host this very important meeting.
and this is tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Yeah, Friday at 1 p.m.
So Canton Community is probably going to record it and then put it up on their website
Yeah,
later.
get it up ASAP. But the thing is, there's no public comment on the agenda because it is a special purpose meeting to interview this firm. There's no opportunity for public participation, and the library, I mean, except to come and witness, of course, it's an open meeting. But the library wanted to emphasize that they have rules, and we've all learned from the time we were little that the rules of the library have to be followed. And one is that everybody has to maintain order, and everybody needs to be treated with courtesy and respect, which I love. We should have that rule all the time, I think, because that applies to committee members too.
The chair.
And they also wanted us to point out that that community room, it's a lovely place. It shares a wall with the junior section, and there will be children, there in the library for whatever purpose. I don't think it's a story time at that particular time, or I don't know, but they don't want any disruptions. And some of the library trustees will be in attendance, is my understanding. And it's the community standing up and speaking out that has gotten us to this point. And we have an extremely qualified firm that came in first. So we have an opportunity to see success from our efforts. And that's not to say that, now everybody's in agreement and everything's going to be fine, but the petitioners have 2 seats on the committee, and if there are any problems in the future, or I mean, we'll let people know when there is an opportunity to speak out or when it would be beneficial. But the purpose of tomorrow's meeting is to interview the number 1 candidate, Five Stones Intelligence. They're based, they have headquarters in London and in Washington, D.C. And when you are interviewing, for a job, of course, you're putting your best foot forward, but the company is putting their best foot forward too, which is one reason I'm kind of glad it's at the library, because it's a gem. It's just that is just really a gem in our community where everybody is welcome, and it's just a wonderful feeling just to go into that library. So I'm kind of glad. I mean, it's actually at this moment they're doing a lot of renovation work. The facade isn't the best, but that feeling is still there. That lovely feeling you get when you walk into the Canton Library. So I'm even though it can't be broadcast live, I think there are pluses to this location.
Good. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens at it. The finalists are going to come in and be interviewed. Is that how it works publicly too?
Yes, the number one firm will be there. And the way it's set up, because when you're talking about a 30B appropriation, there are very, this strict rules to try to keep everything very, objective. And it's not rocket science. It's not brain surgery. You don't have to have some special knowledge. It's right out there. I think I was waving the 30B manual around at the last meeting. So this is a preset set of questions that all the committee members had a chance to contribute to, and we designated at the last meeting David Clow, who's he has been such a wonderful public servant and has done such good work. And so I'm very happy that he is the other petitioner seat on the committee. And he has been the liaison with the firm and had collected the questions from the committee. So that's what we'll be doing tomorrow. Is it's all sort of preset, like, all right, here are the questions, and it's an opportunity for Five Stones Intelligence to really show the community what they offer. And I'll say, because once you rank the firms, that then their proposals are public record. So I'll just say something that actually I said at the last meeting. The U.S. House of Representatives chose this firm to audit the Capitol Police. So, I'm confident that they can handle our project, even though, as others, some have pointed out, it is an ambitious scope. I'll also point out, though, that the scope is 8 pages of a 35-page RFP. The committee is only responsible for the scope. The rest is from the chief procurement officer of the town. Like Bob, who sits as the chairman, does not have procurement certification. That's all done under Randy's certification. And the rest of the 35 pages that's not us. I'll just quickly say that, especially to taxpayers, the Office of Inspector General is the agency that oversees the spending of public money. It's considered so important. They are not even, public records requests do not apply to them. If you want to make a complaint to the OIG, it's always confidential. It is not answerable to public records requests. That's how important it is considered that, how important it is to make sure that public money is well spent. We had somebody at the last committee meeting who said she was a chief procurement officer from a neighboring town for 36 or 38 years, and she had never seen it play out like this. And I don't want to put words in her mouth, but I think what she was picking up on is, after the people voted and after the will of the people, the people had their voice, they spoke. It seems almost like the opposition continued post vote, post approval. At this point, it's the only thing in front of the committee is to enact the will of the people, to get the best qualified candidates, to make sure the money is well spent. And that's it. It's not that's the only thing that we have as our responsibility.
Yeah, it's interesting because I recall when this thing first passed, that it was supposed to be done in the spring.
Yeah.
And it's way behind already. So, are they going to gum this up and delay it more? What do you think on that?
Any delays takes away from that already. A firm like Five Stones Intelligence that has existed, lots of resources, they can handle that. But to take any more time away, so I'm hoping that the people's business just proceeds as the timeline is laid out in the RFP. And I understand that there's also language in there saying that, well, this could change, but that it lays out on, I think it's page 3 of the RFP, which anybody can see by going to the Town of Canton website, says that the milestone for the contract signing is October 31st. We have a highly, highly qualified firm coming in for an interview tomorrow. Then it will go to Randy and to the town council. The signatures, the proposed contract. And I understand that some of the phraseology can be changed. It's going to be negotiated with the successful bidder, but that's already in the RFP. Anybody can look at that too. There's no reason why to miss this milestone. There's none.
Yeah. I just have a
And
feeling they're going to
yeah,
try to delay.
yeah, and that's what many people have noticed, that the opposition still, it seems like the way it should be is that the people vote, the people speak, and then the public servants enact the will of the people. And the vote has already been had and the money appropriated. So I'll also say that anybody, you can see what it is that they're going to be, the scope of services, as I said, that 8 pages is in the RFP, what they're going to be looking at. And this is an example of, democracy. If with a successful completion of this, democracy at work. The right to petition the government is in the First Amendment. I mean, it's as basic a right of our democracy as it can possibly be. And this is an example of citizens getting involved and with a lot of hard work. And I'm grateful to every single person who gathered signatures or held signs or, vote yes. And then the vote was had. The vote was held, and the vote for the independent police audit passed. And that's where the politics should end, with that vote. And that was on November 20th of last year.
But it hasn't. I mean, this is, even with what came out today, did you see what came out today from Turtle Boy Daily News about?
No, I didn't see.
Oh God. It just shows you the levels that they really are going on this one, especially with the DA. This one was about the DA's office and Michael Morrissey. I mean, he's using burner phones. He's working with this KP. KP's investigating, doxing people, getting info from Turtle Boy's phone when they're not supposed to have any access to Turtle. It's unbelievable what they're exposing. And it just lawlessness. Like the DA's office looks like to me like they don't, like, how lawyers say lawyers can't lie to the court and all that stuff?
Yeah.
How can your DA lie to the court?
Yeah, no, it destroys people's confidence in the democratic institutions that we need to have faith in. This is just very basic democracy. I mean, to me, it sometimes seems like, an attack on democracy, on our very way of life.
It is.
And in past generations, they had to go overseas to fight for democracy.
It's so funny because, I'm obviously not a big Trump guy, obviously, for a lot of people who know. Some people get mad when I even mention it. But the Democrats have played this card where defend democracy. Where the hell is the Democrats in this state defending democracy and defending the rule of law? Because your DA is acting like a criminal.
Yeah,
like, that's
exactly.
to me what I'm seeing here. I mean, this is.
But also, do party affiliations mean what they used to mean? In the past, I often voted Republican. I'm an independent. I have been my whole life, and I voted for the best candidates. And sometimes that was Republican. I wrote to William Weld when this all started and said, I voted for you, and you live in Canton, and you pay taxes in Canton, and I don't even, I sent it to the law firm he supposedly lives at. I should have probably sent it to his home address, but actually it was an email. Right now in Canton, according to the latest 2024 statistics from the Secretary of State's office, 9.6% of the town are registered Republicans, and I forget if it's 16 or 18% of the town are registered Democrats, and the rest
everybody else is like us, unenrolled.
Yeah, unenrolled.
That's what really. I vote, like, I've supported all different parties. People consider me left-wing liberal, but basically I've had libertarians on this show, Green Party, a lot of Republicans, tons of Republicans, and some Democrats. Like Democrats were like actually the last ones to come on the show. I had more Republicans early on, believe it or not, than anything else. So, I'm the same way. Like unenrolled. It's like we're independent. That's what most people are actually in Massachusetts. It's just that a lot of our Republicans are crazy, unfortunately.
But Morrissey is supposedly a Democrat. I mean, it
I
just
know.
doesn't mean what it used to mean. But I'll point out that another problem in Canton is we developed this system 20 years ago where the moderator is nominated by, one year he's nominated by the Republican Town Committee, whatever the name is, and then other year the Democratic Town Committee. And those things don't mean what they used to mean. But also, like, I know I've I grew up in a town half the size of Canton, 20 minutes, 35 minutes away from Canton. And I've lived in other places, and I know, like, it's just not normal. Usually you have a moderator at the town meeting who is seen as a fair-minded person, will be even-handed, and you elect that person. And you don't, this weird system we have, because it's kind of, is our the current Democratic moderator, is he supports Morrissey. Someone was telling me last time they saw him, he had a Morrissey sticker on his bumper. So there's a lot to look at in Canton as far as examples of bad governance and things that need to be fixed. I think we need a better system of moderating the town meetings, where all the money gets spent, by the way, because that's the root of it. And I say this as a financial journalist. We're the ones who vote to give them the money. And I don't think people have looked at it yet as, well, then if they're doing an extremely bad job, then especially in discretionary spending, why are we doing that?
Now, a couple things I want to go to. One, just because it's on the screen, Norfolk DA has to go. I believe next week we have a candidate for DA who's running against Michael Morrissey. She's a female, former prosecutor. Are you going to be supporting some candidates or a candidate against Michael Morrissey? What do you think? Do you think that there's going to be a lot of support for somebody else?
And then there's another person who has already put forward an attorney, I think he's a former prosecutor from Cohasset. But I'll just point out that Michael Morrissey, if you go, there's a State Department that oversees campaign financing, and that there are a ton of reports on their website. You can look up any candidate. And Michael Morrissey has almost $500,000 in his campaign war chest. So that's something to think about.
I don't know if it's...
I mean, as an obstacle, not to say that people shouldn't run, but I'm saying
that's why people don't run.
Right.
I mean, it's like, what's his name? Marty Walsh had $1 million in his account when he left, and I don't know what he did with it when he got kicked up federally, but it's just unbelievable how much money these people gather, and they have no opponents year after year after year. But I still think he's because of all the headlines. I mean, obviously...
absolutely. Oh no, we need someone with integrity. We need someone who can restore the public trust in their county, the justice system at our local county level, for sure.
Maybe that's a reminder too, is that we need to kick down, like just like we're supporting fund. Tonight we got a pin in the chat for Karen Reed, her defense fund. I support Turtle Boy's defense fund. I support all the other defense funds that are out there for First Amendment. And maybe we should be doing the same thing for candidates to defeat Morrissey, because I think there's a power when there's thousands of us that just give $5, $10, $20. It really adds up. So I think that's maybe what we need to do, is start kicking in money politically too.
Right. There many people in Canton understand that Karen Reed could have been any one of us, or could have been our sister or our aunt, and that Sandra Birchmore, if you're a parent, it is heartbreaking what happened, and our role in it. She was murdered in Canton. Taxpayers have a lot of concern about what happened, because the Canton police are the first responders. I know people always say, yes, but it's the state police that investigate, unattended deaths. But Molly Bish's sister pointed this out. If you live in a small town, it's your small town police departments. They are the first responders. And you don't have to have a degree in criminology or be an expert in law enforcement to know those are the most critical moments of any investigation. And if you can't secure a crime scene, then saying, oh, the state police investigate murders. Okay, yeah, but the local police are the ones who are the first responders responsible for much of the early work, including, in both Officer John O'Keefe's murder and in Sandra Birchmore's murder a year earlier. They were involved in the investigation. You can look at the police reports. They were looking at videos and deciding this or that. They were involved. And then it was 4 years before that, we had the case of Craig Casey. Just Google Craig Casey Canton, where there was a car crash, and the police apparently missed the body on the lawn. But there were 4 mainstream newspaper reports written where our then deputy chief, now chief, said, because what happened is about an hour and 15 minutes later, when the sun came up, someone called and said, well, there's a body on the front lawn.
Yeah, they said the guy's sleeping over there.
And they came back.
Yeah.
And then I live right around the corner from there, and a neighbor said, oh, no, there was a big response. They shut down the whole neighborhood. Yes, that was after the neighbor called, not the 5:15 a.m. response. It was after the neighbor called. But our now police chief was quoted in 4 different mainstream newspaper stories saying, well, while of course we wish we found him earlier, it would not have made any difference. And one really, these local reporters don't get paid much, but there was one guy, and I think he was with the Brockton Enterprise. He wrote such a good story. He got a policing expert from New York saying, well, we usually don't have law enforcement officials deciding medical questions like that as to whether he would have lived. Because the understanding.
What's your expertise, Helena Rafferty, to comment on whether that guy would have been all right?
Because
unbelievable.
Some of the news stories said he was found alive, and so it doesn't really getting an EMT to somebody more than an hour earlier couldn't matter. Help. But any parent, and my kid is not yet driving, but time goes by in a flash when you have kids. Any parent is concerned about that. Like, God forbid that my kid needed help, or just anybody in our town. Because I do want to say, if you're very well connected in Canton, you think everything is great because you do get great service. You have the private cell numbers of the police officers who you call, and they then self-dispatch, which is not a term I had ever heard before moving to Canton. So you think, hey, great, I get great service. And then they talk about community, about speaking out, the fact that we spoke out has destroyed the community. Really just asking, all we've ever asked for is transparency and accountability, which are very boring democratic principles, by the way. Nothing extreme. But why aren't they concerned that so many people in their community are saying we don't feel safe? If you're really, somebody who is very focused on community, that should concern you, that so many people say themselves, and they're worried about their kids, whether it's driving or anything else. Doesn't that concern you? Like, that's what community means, that we're concerned, as much concerned for the safety as someone who moved here, like someone who moved here a week ago. I am concerned about their safety, as well as all the people who say bad things about us. I'm also concerned about their safety, because we all count in a democracy.
It's we mentioned this last night on the show with Brian, who's a former Las Vegas police officer, real street cop. I mean, this guy's a hero. He was when the whole festival shooting thing happened, he was one of the guys through the door with that guy. Wow. And there's another video that shows another incident when he was the guy that had to take down someone who was shooting people. So like, this guy like goes to places where he went to places where people had, so we were talking about it last night about Canton, and he said $320,000. Oh, and this is what you get. This guy, like, for that kind of money, he said the guy should be like the top level investigator in the world. Like, he's like, like 320,000, and don't even know how to run a crime scene. You have no experience in murder. Like, he said it was embarrassing. He's basically saying, like, this is like ridiculous.
We also have patrolmen earning $250,000. The taxpayer is paying their salary. That's not really, it wouldn't be normal for the ordinary people paying their property taxes to be earning that much. But I will say, I want to add, we have some great, especially some of the young officers who we love, and I would never say their names because I don't want to get them in trouble. They are great guys that you would put your kids' safety in their hands. We have some wonderful officers, but how long are they going to be here? That's my concern.
Well, for 320,000, they might stay.
Yeah.
They might stay and not learn anything.
Right.
I mean,
right.
That's what it seems like. It's what he's talking about too. Like, if you're the lead detective making 320, you have a responsibility to go find some homicides. Like, even if it's outside of your jurisdiction, to learn the trade. That's what it's like he couldn't believe what he's seeing.
Yeah.
And the amount of money that they're being paid, and the amateurs, how amateur they were.
But improving operations, all of the good things that can come from an audit. And since there are apparently no problems in the Canton Police Department, wouldn't you welcome an audit so that they can really shine? And next time you want a $100,000 kitchen, would be like, yay, yes, these are our guys. They really shine during the audit. We're getting good money for our tax dollars, instead of the extreme resistance that we've gotten. But I didn't get a chance to tell this very quick story
actually, before you do that, I want to do one more feedback on that, because you brought something else up from Brian. I mean, he did mention too, like $320,000 a year, and let me guess, you don't have body cams. You don't have body cams. Like that shows you the priorities right there. You're pissing money away on someone that doesn't even have the experience, that doesn't even know how to solve a crime, for $320,000, and you don't have body cameras.
Exactly.
So.
Yes.
And no wonder why they need a kitchen. I feel bad for those guys. I think a kitchen would help, but there's so many other misplaced priorities. It's hard to give them any money, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But I did want to mention there was if you Google Connecticut State Police scandal, there was a scandal with the Connecticut State Police where they were writing fake tickets, and the ones who did that were getting the best cars and the best assignments and the best this and the best that. And at first there was an internal investigation that was not independent and objective, and said, no, this is a little problem. There were a few. But then there was eventually an independent review of it that found, now I can't remember, I mean, just a massive, massive problem. But as part of that independent review, they found this guy who had written more than 10,000 tickets and had not made a mistake. And that's what I mean about, like, even if there are problems, there are also going to be wonderful things elevated. Like this guy, this Connecticut State Trooper, should never buy another drink in his life. Every bar he walks into, people should buy him drinks. Because how do you write over 10,000 tickets and not have one mistake? So any independent audit identifies, the mistakes and the people to be applauded, the good things. And I said before the special town meeting, when I saw the pushback that we were getting, and that has only continued, but I said to people involved in the signature collection, if I owned a business and I said, hey guys, we're having an audit in 2 weeks, and saw that kind of pushback, I would call back the firm and say, actually, can you come over here this afternoon and do an audit? Like, I don't think we can wait 2 weeks. Like, why is there such a pushback? Audits are just, very dry things that it doesn't involve hating anybody. It's just making sure that money is being well spent. That's all. So why would someone have any reason to push back against that if everything's fine? That's what I wonder. But the audit will find what the audit finds. That's the point about it being an independent, the most important word there, an independent audit of the police department.
Excellent. So there's a meeting tomorrow at 1 p.m.
That's right.
You want people to be on their best behavior.
Yeah.
It could be children there. So
yeah.
And the whole thing is to make sure this continues to move. I mean, that's really your goal on this, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I know that there was a lot of talk, and also it seemed to be, almost an effort to discourage bidders. But this is a very highly qualified firm that, that bid on this. And by the way, it came in at this public record, came in at $198,000, $2,000 below what the taxpayers appropriated. So when you talk about finding the best bang for the taxpayers' dollars, the most highly qualified vendor for the taxpayers' dollars, I just can't imagine a firm more highly qualified. And people will see they're going to have a chance tomorrow to talk about, their experience and who they are and what they've done. And if you can't see it in person at the Canton Public Library, then it will be up as a link on Canton Community TV. My understanding is within 24 hours, and they're going to try to get it up as quickly as they can.
Thank God for Canton Community Television that they record everything and all the live streams they do. I always rebroadcast those, and we'll definitely be sharing that as soon as it comes out. I want to thank Tim and everyone at Canton Community TV. Check out their website. They got a lot of good content on there. I'm very thankful for them. They do a good job.
Yeah. So thanks, Mike. I appreciate this opportunity to get out the word that this is a job interview meeting. Grateful to everybody they've stood up and they've spoken out, and now this is the fruit of all those efforts is to have this interview with this very top candidate, a very highly qualified firm, tomorrow at 1.
Excellent. I did even ask the kind of the tough question about the school. It's been kind of controversial on Twitter with a few people. Do you know where I'm going even with this one?
Yeah. Oh, I have a kid at the middle school right now. We all understand that the school has to be replaced. I'll just say, the only thing I will say about that, we haven't successfully completed what the taxpayers asked the town, or told the town to do with $200,000 almost a year ago. So that's where I'll leave it is, although there's, we have a highly qualified candidate, and, that could still happen, to meet this October 31st signing deadline for the contract. That could happen. And I want to be, I'm an optimist by nature. So I'm going to assume that is the case, and that all proceeds as it should.
I like that answer. I think it's a good answer. You're trying to hold people accountable.
Yeah.
Especially with the way they spend and the way that they act. And
Mm-hmm.
if they want support, they gotta, this is democracy. This is democracy.
Exactly.
And I love it. So I'm really appreciative of your time and everything that you bring to Canton. Kathleen, I've been watching you a long time, and are really happy that you chose to come on tonight. Is there anything else that you want to share tonight that you didn't get to talk about?
I just want to say, sometimes, when people don't want accountability when they're on the public payroll and, using in facilities that are maintained by the public, I sometimes want to say, maybe you're not meant for public service. Maybe you're meant for the private sector. But then you have to think, oh no, that's not going to work either if you don't want any accountability, because we all in the private sector, we live with accountability. So that's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being here. It's true too. Cause when I was younger, I was a school teacher, and I was a coach. I love coaching, but there's it's tough to be responsible of parents, especially as a young guy. I was a hellion. I wasn't ready to be a school teacher, basically. Yeah. And I made that decision. I said, you know what? I'm going to fit in better doing fidelity. It sucked that I had to give up my coaching, but that's the decision I made. And I think some of these hacks should make a decision like that. If you don't want to be accountable to people, go push numbers at fidelity, or, it just do something else.
Well, think about what being a public servant means.
Yeah.
Serving the public.
Yeah.
All right, Mike.
And I have a lot of respect for school teachers, let me tell you.
Oh,
that's
yes.
One of the hardest jobs around. Not everyone is made for it. So that's why I think they should pay them as much as possible. Thank you so much for being here tonight, Kathleen.
Thank you, Mike. I love your show.
You too. Thank you so much. We'll be watching you tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye now. That's Kathleen Howley. She is representing her town on the Canton police audit. She's one of the 5 members, and they have a meeting tomorrow at 1 p.m. And it will be, people could show up. It's at the library. Be respectful. It's going to be recorded, and as soon as it's up, we'll be streaming it, posting it on our YouTube, definitely. And Canton Community Television is going to have it up, I think, probably tomorrow afternoon, if not, who knows, maybe Saturday. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes Monday. I'm not sure. We'll see. Whenever it's up, we'll all be watching. I can't wait to see that. I also just wanted to, again, mention I'm kind of happy today. I'm feeling good, even though I'm still sick. You can tell. Can you tell? I got the. Still got the COVID cough. Still, I'm taking naps in the afternoon. I had a light schedule today. I did like 5 walks, and then I took like a 2-hour nap, and then I did the show. But I'm finding my stride. But the thing I'm happy about is the Turtle Boy stuff. This whole Betero, the 3rd Betero letter just dropped. And I'm like, I'm looking at my numbers tonight, and I'm like, you know what? Everyone else is watching the Galera and Melanie Little and all these other people talk about the Betero letters. And to me, that's great. Because I was just like, I'm going to probably talk about it, very superficially tonight. But it's just, I'm happy. I'm happy that everyone is talking. I'm happy that Melanie Little is talking about it. Believe me. I mean, that's what we need. I want to see Turtle Boy free. This is such BS that they're doing to him. And today, to see that 3rd letter, knowing there's probably going to be a 4th letter. How many letters? That's what I got to get Betero on here. I know he's not going to tell us shit because he can't, but I'm going to be like, Betero. Even behind the scenes, I'm going to be hitting him up. Like, how many more letters? It's going to be 6 of them, 7, 8, 4, 5. How many more Betero letters? This is becoming like, just love it. And the KP shit. And you guys know, I mean, I knew a lot of this shit was coming already. A lot of us did. We do. And I'd even be like, don't even tell me all the details because I want to be like everyone else. I want to be surprised. And today, holy shit. Holy. And I love that KP came after me and pissed me the F off, made me take a break. And then I came back and found Betero. And then I went live with Betero, with Mazza and Betero every friggin' night. Every night we were live. Because they pissed me off, Morrissey, Proctor, and Tully, and KP, and Grant Smith Smellis. And we know what you did. And now you're screwed. Now we want your phones. Now we want your shit. Now you're sharing information that you're not supposed to be sharing. Now you've been lying to the court, Morrissey. Now you got Betero on your ass. I'm like loving this. Bring it on. Let's fuck. You guys have ran me out of my COVID. Thank you so much, Attorney Mark Betero and Aiden. TB Daily News. Check it out. It's pretty revealing what they're doing. Sharing info that they're not be with KP. They're like going after leaks and having special ex-party communications with the court, the judges. Wicked shady shit, Morrissey. Morrissey is a piece of shit. You know I don't like to swear, but Jesus, it's hard not to swear when you're dealing with these jokers lately. I just can't help it. Can't help it. I want to thank everybody who's been watching tonight. Sarah, gift of 10 memberships. You're awesome. Even my mics are hot. Thank you for the comment. Glenn Lake, gifted 10 memberships. This dude does it all the time. Look at it. He did it twice. He actually gave 20 tonight. Thank you so much, Glenn Lake. And then Sarah gave another 10. She also gave 20 tonight. Amazing. And I did order some special things. I got so much on my schedule right now. We're going to be doing a lot here. I'm definitely going to finally do a membership show. While I was sick, I actually did when I was sick, I did almost nothing. I had so much shit I needed to do, but I was just like, you know what? Not doing anything. And then one of the last days of being totally out, I actually ordered some shit. So we're going to have some membership shows definitely soon. Rich threw down $19.99. I can't believe Rich is facing charges. He's throwing money down on our show. Rich, save your money for your defense. We got to be raising money for Rich. Thank you, Rich. I really appreciate it. Now I'm doing cough drops. Let me read your non-super chat comments. I just want to see. Anyone have any questions, any comments tonight for me? Glad you're better. Yeah, we do support Rich. And I'll say this, I don't think anyone should be throwing shit in people's houses. I don't know if he did that. He says he didn't actually. I don't know what he did, but whatever it is on this bullshit with Rich, he should not be charged with a felony. Glenn Lake gave, he give 10 more again? I think he did. And Sarah, I think, gave 10 more. You guys are great. Thank you so much. Yeah, 10 more. Thank you to my mods, too. Stephanie, MJ, Jen, Scott McGinnis. Thank you so much, all for you. Yeah, this is Stephanie. Yeah, Michelle says, Mike, you've been preaching the truth from day one. It sure feels like it. You know? We have some documents that we haven't shared with the public. And it's on my end, it's tough. Like I know Altman actually got the same doc. It's tough to 100% confirm that it's real, but I believe it's real. I think she probably does too. And I've shared it with some attorneys and all that, but I also don't want to expose the source of it. And you could see today in the file, in the letter that Betterow wrote, that's what Morrissey and KP do. They look to expose any sources from within. And I believe I'm going to tell you, Morrissey, I think you got more leaks than you know, bro. And it's just sick. Like, I got to say, too, I've said this before. This is especially to the family of John O'Keefe. Why are you letting them do this? Why are you letting yourself be represented by KP and LG? All these people your son would despise. Not a good look for you guys. I've been saying that for a long time. Yeah, the ducks are coming home to roost. They certainly are. Next week, we're going to have a candidate on for district attorney running against Michael Morrissey. I'm looking forward to that. You should have never effed with me, Morrissey. I'm looking forward to raising as much money as possible to defeat your fucking ass, you piece of shit. You know what I want to do is probably to end this show, go back to the special town meeting from November 20th of 2023. It's like a month before they started effing with me, actually. And you're going to see the opposition, and the guy who's running the town police audit now is going to speak here, and he's going to speak in opposition, with these McAlberts against the police audit. Someone said out with the meatball. Yeah. Out with the meatball, definitely. Morrissey does need to resign. We need to put a lot more pressure on Maura Healey to actually take a stand on this. She knows what's going on. She's a former attorney general. Yeah, if I was the O'Keefe's, I'd be walking into Josh Levy's office like once a week. Find out what the hell's going on. I'd be there so much, you know what I mean? That Josh Levy would be like, stop coming to my office. I'm trying to take it easy as much as possible, but I got a lot of stuff I want to work on. There's a lot of people I got on hold that want to come on the show and talk about some other stuff too that's not even Karen Reed related. There's a lot of corruption and bullshit going on in Massachusetts. So, and definitely I need to have Betterow back on. We gotta get Betterow back on soon. So, you know what I might do right now? I have it right here. See, I'm so out of it. I'm looking for my phone. It's right in front of me. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play a little video. So don't go away. I'm going to play a little video from that special town meeting just to show some of the McAlberts and what we were talking about with Kathleen tonight. And I'm definitely going to come back on another show and talk more about some things in Canton going on. But not tonight. I'm going to play that little video, and then I'm going to come back and maybe take some of your phone calls. If anyone wants to call in tonight. If you want to weigh in on Michael Meatball Morrissey, or Maura Healey, or KP and Morrissey, you can definitely do so. So let's play that video, and then I'll come back and maybe take a couple phone calls tonight. Where is the video? I thought I had it up. Oh, here it is. There it is. Yes. It's like riding a bike. You don't forget, but you're just a little bit slower.
For other reasons, that's fine, but that is not an unbiased committee.
That's an opinion. Thank you. Next speaker, I'm going to move over here.
I'm going to rewind that a little bit. I want to get you to
We don't know if it's going to be $200,000. There's 374 in Massachusetts that have achieved this. Organizations that oversee
these are the McAlberts
is covered by CJIS, which monitors all data access, all searches performed by a police officer in the computer system. You have media and citizens monitoring radio scanners, recording interactions on their phones. From a reporting perspective, they have mandated FBI reporting for excessive use of force or use of force in general. Mandated taser deployment reporting for the Executive Office of Public Safety. There's a whole bunch of different things already in place here that cover all this, with court trials being the ultimate oversight, okay? Defense teams, judges, juries, prosecutors, et cetera, they get to objectively analyze every single case. The evidence collection methods, everything that you get to see during the trial. Next slide, please. From an officer conduct perspective, I mean, that's on here with complaints, et cetera. We have things that are state-run organizations already in place to handle this, okay? And the police are required by law to report on these things. There's an oversight commission with a majority civilian, and every law enforcement agency officer has to get certified on this every 3 years. Next slide, please. I mean, they have training mandates. They have organizations that oversee everything that they're supposed to be trained on every year. And our Canton Police Department already does a whole bunch of other voluntary trainings every year. So I guess I'm confused here because I also saw elements for conflicts of interest. That's where jurisdictional control comes in. If there is a conflict of interest, the Mass State Police take over an investigation or some other organization takes over an investigation, okay? Crime scene compliance. I mean, they have external lab units that collect information and collect evidence. It's not done at the local level. Next slide, please. And this is a big deal. I've seen a lot of people, frankly, just talking about this as if it's a self-assessment process or it's self-reporting or, you know, they don't review compliance. That's absolutely untrue. This is a big achievement for our police organization, okay? We are one of 122 law enforcement agencies out of 374 in Massachusetts that have achieved this accreditation. That's less than we're the top third, 90%, okay? No other people are doing this all over the place. It's not required. It is voluntary. They don't have to do this. And this involves a thorough examination of everything, their equipment, their evidence rooms, their collection methods, their policies and procedures, how they operate and function every day, okay? And they have to get reaccredited every 3 years with this. And it's not just a rubber stamp. It's not a self-reporting process. They come on site for multiple days, and our police department has to produce documentation throwing 3 years of compliance with all the policies and procedures and everything they're talking about analyzing here and spending $200,000 on. Which, to be frank, we don't know if it's going to be $200,000. That is an estimate. It's a placeholder. This thing could be $500,000. Could be $1 million.
The motion as written would set a maximum on that. So just want to clarify that for the people. And you have another minute.
Yep. And I guess I have concern with the committee. You know, I've watched the FinCom meetings. I've heard a lot about perception of bias. We don't want the select board to select a thing because of conflicts of interest. Well, how is having a committee with 60% attendees chosen by the petitioners not biased? They are biased. They pulled this town together in this meeting together.
Order.
So, I disagree with having any petitioner involvement in selecting members. And if you want to recuse other people for other reasons, that's fine. But that is not an unbiased committee.
That's an opinion. Thank you. Next speaker, I'm going to move over here. And then I'm going to go. And because we want to make sure this is fair debate, if you are speaking in favor of an article, I want you to stand to the left. And if you're speaking opposed to the motion, well, all right, then if you don't like that, I'm fine with that. But I will end the debate when it's time. So let's go to the next speaker.
Mr. Moderator, Bob McCarthy, Old Meadow Lane. The original articles presented were illegal and unenforceable. This current one basically is beyond the scope of the article. The Finance Committee rewrote and added to the scope. Why? I have no idea. I spent 8 years on the Finance Committee, and I've never, ever seen this done. I know they were trying to help, but they made a bad situation worse. The Finance Committee also sought the advice from the proponents, and the proponents only. Why? Proponents want to control $200,000 and the study. Originally, there should have been a scope of service. There is none. They have no idea what they want to study. Who's going to put the scope together? Based on what? They want to control a minimum of 60% of the committee, although now they didn't put that amendment in, but they still want to control. When they were at the Finance Committee meeting, they said they probably couldn't accept a committee that they didn't have 60%. Proponents believe that all town employees can't be trusted. They are tainted. Who are these proponents? What are their qualifications? They're not elected. They represent 1.75% of 17,000 registered voters. What about the other 98.5% of the voters? Except for the procurement
Order.
officer,
Order.
except for the
Order.
procurement officer or his designee, they want him to accept whatever they come up with. That means he's got to commit his license, commit his reputation on people he doesn't know, and do not trust him because he works for the town. I would never do this. Again, 1.7% of 17,000 registered voters. Does a well-run town send over 200,000 pounds?
I would. He said he would never do this. Think about that. So we had one of the police hacks here who spoke, and you could see what they were bad about. They didn't want the 60% of citizens to have a say on the committee, so they stacked it after the fact with their cronies. And this is one of the cronies who said he would never do it, and then he did it. He became the chair. This clown. This is unbelievable. This is Canton. This is leadership here. He never would do it. Unbelievable. This is free. Let's keep playing this.
$200,000 to a committee. They have no idea. No person from the town, no employee from the town is on this. We don't know who they are. 1.75% want total control. Reject this proposal and all the proposals and allow the study that the select board has already started and continue. These proponents are never going to be satisfied until you have total capitulation from the 98%. The town must stop pandering to the disruptive minority and move on. I hope this article is rejected.
There's the McAlvert
Mr. Murphy.
spokesperson there. That's what we're... Unbelievable. There's your leader. There's your leader. You know what I'm going to do right now? Let's take phone calls. There it is. 978-560-3155. You got an open line. Not a lot of people watching right now. So you're going to get through. But enough that will hear you. And a lot of people will watch on replay as well. 978-560-3155. If you want to weigh in on TV Daily News, the latest Bedrow letter, you want to talk about Morrissey, how he's got at least one campaign against him, maybe two now. Now's a good time to call. Here we go. We got a call. It's working, though? I don't think it's working. Mother effer. Oh, we got a call from Louisiana, and it's not coming through. Why isn't it coming through? Let me try it again. Hold on, people. Remember it used to always do this, and then it started working. Oh, wait. It's me. No, it's not. Hold on. I'm going to undo the Bluetooth. Hold on one second. Let's try this again. Come on, baby. Hold on. There it goes. We got it.
Hello.
Hi, who's on the phone?
Hey, it's Alicia from Louisiana.
Hey, Alicia.
How are you, Mike? You
Good.
fired up tonight, huh, bud?
Going good. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling good about this news. What do you think?
Listen, you stay the course and don't let these rats get you off course. Because that seems like that's all they're good for, is to just stir up a bunch of bull crap.
Yeah, I mean, that's all we're doing. It's just, I get off on it now. You know, Like, look,
Well, I think at some point you have to find the humor in it.
yeah, I mean, the Young
Um,
Jelly, we're selling T-shirts now. When they came after me the hardest, we grew the most. So it's like that's why I think they stopped going after my show actually and going after me. Like they realized it's actually doing the opposite. I think I don't know. They it's almost like I don't even feel it anymore. I don't even are they still attacking me? I don't know.
well, Michael Morrissey needs to hang his cap up. I don't think there's any way he's going to win. If he does, y'all definitely have problems down in Michigan. Canton. You know, it just looking from the outside, I'm from Louisiana and I've watched your channel for a long time. It's just honestly, and I'm from a small town. It's so crazy the good old boy system that's in place there. And it's really scary, but I think enough light has been shed on the subject that I think good at the end of the day, y'all going to have a lot of good come out of this.
Yeah, it feels like that. It feels like we're gonna have some vindication, a lot of vindication.
Well, and you know, sometimes we have to walk through the fire for the light of the fire to, shine on the dark. And that's exactly, unfortunately, Karen Reed has had to pay an immense price as well as others. But you know what? I think at the end of the day, y'all are going to be a lot better, a lot stronger. And I just commend each and every one of y'all that has had the backbone to stand up, to continue preaching the truth. And honestly, tonight, I just wanted to tell you that and just encourage you and tell you what a great job you're doing. And I do believe in the end, the good will win.
Me too. I think in a couple of years from now, we're all going to look back and say, "Thank God that happened," because it's blowing up in their face. It really is.
Yeah, it honestly, outside looking in, it's been baffling, even with the light that they know. Like people are watching all across the world is watching this whole scene play out, the things they've continued to try and pull. And, I think here, I'll be curious to see January roll around, what transpires.
Now, KP is obviously was helping Michael Morrissey root out a source in his office, or no, source in the court, Stoughton District Court. Were you surprised by that they were teaming up like that? I mean, I knew, but I don't think people really.
Yeah, no, I mean, it honestly, nothing at this point is really shocking to me. But I have to say, I'm a little surprised by that. I really am. But just another example of, the ins and outs of what's really going on.
Yeah, how corrupt they are. That Morrissey and Mello and all them have been basically lying to the court, saying that the Turtle Boy's phone extraction was being placed aside, and they had to get a taint team. Meanwhile, they were sharing the contents with KP. I mean, that exactly. Is just so out bananas. It's just
like blatant lies. Well, I'm going to get off of here and let you chat with some of your amazing people.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching and calling in.
Do.
Yeah, from Louisiana.
Louisiana. Yes, Louisiana supports you, and we're rooting for you and free Karen Reed and justice for all.
Thank you so much for calling tonight. Have a great night.
Sir, have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Louisiana. I love her little accent. That was great. We're taking phone calls tonight. 978-560-3155. It's shocking to me that Morrissey's such a friggin' liar. That Mello, they lied. They lied to the court.
Hey, is that Mike?
Yes, it is. Who's calling? 617.
Jenny from Maine, actually, and I've got a couple of comments for
Did
you.
you say Jenny?
And it's
Jenny?
really not-
Like Jenny on the block?
Yes.
Jenny from Maine.
From the yeah. Quick question for you, and it's just an observation on the Karen Reed trial and information. I was watching the retirement party on Ken Berkowitz,
Yes.
and they said that he graduated from Needham High School. And then I'm like, oh my God. And if you want something done, contact Ken Berkowitz. He's connected. And then I said, who was the police station? Where was the police station out of 28 towns, I think, in Norfolk County? What police station did they go to confirm clean DNA on the evidence? Needham. He graduated from Needham High School. He's connected to Needham. And out of all the 28 counties in Norfolk County, they go to Needham. And I just thought that was a little smelly.
Ah, that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, why didn't he go to Bellingham or Millis or Medway, somewhere where he's not connected? So I just thought that the guy's connected to the town, and now he's going to that town and connected to verify evidence on the Karen Reed trial.
Always, I appreciate the tip. Thank you for calling, Jenny. What do you think about the latest from Turtle Boy Daily News, the Better Row letter? What's your thoughts on Morrissey working with KP to expose basically a leak at the Stoughton court?
Unfortunately, I trust nothing now. So I Better Row is the right side. So I think that maybe that will shine the dark areas, put a light on it. But unfortunately, I'm just appalled and shocked at the waste that is happening in the court systems with regards to this case for Turtle Boy. And I mean, I'm just appalled. And I'm like, what is wrong with Martha Healy? Is that her name?
Mara.
What is
yep.
wrong with her?
Yeah.
Mara, what is wrong with her? And what is wrong with the state of Massachusetts and allowing this to just go on? And what is wrong with the town of Canton with that Bob, whatever his name is, McCarthy? That's a disgrace. It's absolutely a disgrace. So I'm going to get myself worked up. So let me hang up. But I just thought
Jenny.
that.
Thank you for calling.
The connection.
I love
Right, take care.
Maine.
Bye.
I love Maine. Maine's one of my favorite places. I go up there often for the medical cannabis. They got the best medical cannabis on the East Coast. So I love Maine. Maine is awesome. Oh boy, we got a no caller ID call. We'll see if we can handle this one. Let's see who this one is. You never know. Who's on the phone calling from a no caller ID? Who's this?
Hello?
Hi, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, love your show, Mike. You're one of the best YouTubers out there.
Oh,
I just wanted to say, you're always, you're very fair, you're very honest. I just wanted to say, I was hoping to get information from Kathleen. I guess that she didn't get to. It's okay. She's always good. But who were the other two guys on that committee? There's one I know that's an MD, and the other one was a retired Canton cop, I believe. What's the background information on those two guys? Do you know anything about them?
One of them was a former state police.
Oh, state police, not Canton police.
Yeah. The other one's some kind of medical doctor, but I think he also has contracts with maybe the town or something. Yeah.
Okay.
They basically
tied to the town at all?
What is it?
Is the state trooper tied to the town at all?
They all live in the town.
Okay. So, but I mean, is he politically affiliated? Like, is he, is he like, neutral, or what's his
I mean,
slant?
the thing you got to know about those guys is they were all picked by the same people. You know what I mean? So it's like it's like they're basically representing the Canton Select Board. The Canton Select Board picked their guy, and then that guy picked Bob, and then Bob picked these other two guys, basically. So, it's just a weird thing. I think that the former state police guy is probably the fairest of the three of them, actually.
Okay.
So
okay.
But, Bob Bob is the worst out of all five of them, and he's the chairperson.
Oh, good Lord,
That's the
that
real
guy,
problem, I think,
Oh,
is Bob.
So I guess I thank you for Oh, he's terrible. Thank you for clarification on the Canton versus
What do you
State,
think
but
about?
someone told me that-
Yeah, everyone's all into Canton. The calls tonight are all about Canton. But what about this Morrissey thing? What? This is the latest news from Turtle Boy Daily News with Betterow. What do you think about it?
Freaking believable. I could not believe it. Nothing should surprise me at this point. Okay, nothing. But I'm sorry. He using, talk about a Hillary Clinton thing. He's using his personal email address to. I mean, you got to be kidding me. I mean, he thinks he is way above the law, and I'd love to know what this Judge Fortes or someone replied to him when he, I guess he's the one that oversees all the judges or something. But yeah, it's unbelievable, Mike. Mike, I don't know if it's you. Someone told me that's, again, I thought he was Canton, but he's so super. Someone told me he has a brother that was a former cop that runs a bar in town, too.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard that. No.
Oh, okay. But anyways, yeah. I don't want to tie up your lines because I'm sure you get a lot of interest in college. But thanks, Mike. Keep doing all the great work you do.
Thank you for watching and calling tonight. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Have a great night.
Yeah.
We got some good calls. We're taking calls right now. 978-560-3155. And the number is scrolling at the bottom of the screen down there. So if you want it, you got the number. Write it down. Who's on the line right now? Who's calling in?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, this is Danny.
Danny, what's going on? What do you think about everything?
I'm from Nebraska, so it's kind of crazy that I've gotten so invested in all this stuff. I love your show. I love watching everybody talk. But I just had a thought of Morrissey and all them. They're gonna throw KP under the bus the second all this is coming out. I don't know. Obviously we know she's crazy and stupid, but I don't know why she thought getting involved with them was gonna go well for her because it's gonna be crazy.
Do you think she should be probably calling the FBI right now and going to meet with them, protect herself?
I mean, she's gonna be fighting for her life. Let's be honest. It's gonna be really interesting to watch. But I really hope Morrissey and all them actually get consequences. But with the way things go, who knows? But there has to be something something they can actually get them on.
I mean, I wouldn't question why shouldn't he be disbarred? They lied to the court, whether it's Mello, Morrissey, I think they're all in cahoots. I think they should all be disbarred. I think there should be some kind of complaint filed against them for lying to the court.
Exactly. I'm sure there's been people who have been disbarred for way less.
Exactly.
And so I hope something comes out of it. But yeah, so I'll be watching and just thanks for your show. I love watching you guys. So have a great night.
Thank you for calling from Nebraska. What was your name again?
Danny.
Danny. Thank you. That was, I think that's my first call ever from Nebraska. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you, Danny. Bye now. I love our calls tonight. They've been short and sweet and from all these different states, Louisiana, Nebraska, Maine. I love Maine. We got a 508. We got some mass calls too. We had a 617. This is a 508. Let's take the 508.
Hello.
Hi, you're on the show. Who's calling?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Jay.
Jay, do you know you're live on my YouTube right now?
I do.
Okay. I always worry that a new customer is going to get referred to me and I answer the phone. They're like, no, he's just looking for dog walking service.
I'm not selling anything either, Mike. Yeah. I'm not selling anything either.
So go ahead. It was Jay. Jay, go ahead. What do you got for us today?
Yeah, I lived in Canton for the last 20 years. So kind of on the inside and the outside of the whole thing. So I wanted to ask you if you had any questions about the tenor or anything else in the town.
I mean, what is the tenor right now? What do you think the average people are thinking after all this has happened? What's the feeling?
It's about 85-15.
85 that think that Karen's innocent?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in my mind.
Yep. And like, how
Great.
is there a lot of tension? Do you feel the tension as an average citizen?
Oh yeah, I mean, it depends who you're talking to. You got to change your, change the way you talk to different people.
And do you think that this is something that's going to actually change the town or not?
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I haven't been to many town meetings and watch them on TV, but man, it's crazy. You're afraid to show up.
What would your advice be to folks like Kathleen and Rita and people who are out there speaking up?
We're supporting you. I mean, I know them all anyway, but we're supporting you. Some people just, like myself, can't quite go out there. I feel bad about it, but I signed the petition and voted the way I voted, but a lot of these people socially and through sports and otherwise, so it's crazy. It's crazy.
You can imagine. What do you?
But I give them their props. I mean, they've done a hell of a job, and they've stood their ground, no matter what's come up against them, and some serious stuff's come up against them. So, I've been impressed by their strength, resolve, all the things that I wish I could do sometimes.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you can call in and support him tonight. What do you think about this stuff with Morrissey right now? The KP and the conspiring to like even get rid of to expose like a leak in the courthouse that was helping Turtle Boy, and the fact that KP's been sharing Turtle Boy texts that she got from the DA's office after they said they haven't looked at the text and they lied to the court. What do you think about all that?
Well, I mean, it's a serious allegation if true. I've been following Mark Betterow, and he's done a hell of a job. And if it is true that that they did what you said they did, or what he accuses them of, I mean, it's a serious violation of a lot of things, and I hope they pay the penalty for it, like anyone should.
If it's like you said, if it's true, which I'm gonna believe it's true because I believe in Betterow, so, and I believe in Aiden too, his reporting. So let's say that it is true. What should the courts do? Like, should they should the bar sanction these attorneys who basically lied to the court?
I mean, I would say immediate disbarment, but I mean, what the hell do I know about the law, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't,
It feels like
doesn't
that,
matter
though.
what I say, right?
Yeah.
But
to us as lay people, just average citizens, it feels like there should be, because if we F up at our job, there's repercussions.
No, I agree completely. But it's more than repercussions, because what they're doing is beyond the pale. I mean, it's not they know what the law is, right? They're supposed to be taking an oath to uphold the law, and yet they know they're breaking it.
Exactly.
Right. So it's more than just disbarment. It's
criminal
potential prosecution for criminal offense, right? And then that's serious shit. That's serious. Sorry about that. Serious stuff.
No, that's fine. Shit is fine. Especially when we're talking about these people. I mean, come on. We can throw a shit in there.
I hear you. Well, there's plenty of it here to have. You want it.
There sure is. I love it. Jay from Canton. This is your first time calling tonight, isn't it?
First time calling anything. So I will say this. My mom was one of the early. Mom's about 83 now, and She was one of the people who had her tires deflated.
Oh,
Or
boy.
actually, no, excuse me. The lug nuts removed.
That's crazy.
At one of the early standouts. Yeah. I offered to help the guy because I didn't know who he was. I didn't think it was my mom's car that he was working on. He wasn't. But I offered to help him. And fired me up, let me tell you, once I found out, when she brought it to the mechanic and they found out that the safety lug was the only one left.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and another woman had her tires fall off with kids in the car. So it's, you know, like kind of everyone says like it's just a joke and, you know, they're just protesting and they got nothing better to do. But when that happened in August 23, I found out about it in September about, man, it drove me crazy.
It's funny too, because it that kind of stuff, you think they're trying to scare us off, but in reality, it just makes like what they try to do to me. Like it just made me, with you know, some time to think about it. It just made me more steadfast. Like you're not going to bully me. I'm not taking this shit from you. Do you feel like that? Most people are like that when they have shit like that happen to them, or are
I don't know,
some
man.
people
I
like
wouldn't say
done?
I'm that way.
What is it?
I appreciate what you say, but and you know, my mom at 83 is,
Yeah.
and I appreciate what she does, but I got to live here, you know.
Yeah.
So,
but in your mind, I understand in protecting
No,
yourself in action,
yeah.
but in
Oh,
your
no.
mindset, do you say, "Gee, there is something here. These people are acting." Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a difference, I think, between doing things to protect yourself, which I think is fine. Like if I had to live in the town, I think I would act a little differently too, honestly, because you really have to protect yourselves in some respects. And even Kathleen and Rita, as much as they're out there, don't kid yourself. They're concerned about this shit too. So, but at the same time, don't you feel like when they push back that far, where they take off lug nuts off a car, that it got back to you, the son. You must have been like, holy shit, these people are that effed up.
yeah. I guess I cowered a little bit. I mean,
So it had,
but yeah, no, it drives me crazy, and I watch everything and listen to everything. I listen to you and everyone else, and kind of both sides too. I've listened to the guy in the attic,
the idiot in the
and
attic. What do you think about him?
well, as whatever you call him, it's fine. I think he's under some sort of gun that he's acting that way, to tell you the truth. But yeah, it's been a wild ride, and yeah, I'm intimidated. Tell you that.
Yeah. See, and the thing with the idiot in the attic, as I call him, I think it's as simple as they approached him, fed his ego, gave him some files, and now he's stuck with it because he knows he made a deal with them, and it's just about his ego. Like that's like people think they have something on him. Nope, it's just ego. Him and Grant specifically were my source tells me that they were approached and given a file, and that they were like, work with us, we'll work with you. And that's not like work on a case to get off charges or something. No, it's ego. These guys, like a lot of reporters will work for access. They'll paint a good picture for the DA because they know the DA is going to feed them information that other reporters don't have access to. And I think that's what Grant and KP and Kevin are all about. Where KP, it's obviously.
I think Kevin's a little deeper than that.
Yeah, you think so?
But that's my opinion.
I don't. I mean, there could be some other things that we don't know about him. Let's just say that. I look at his personality. Yeah, but I appreciate your call, Jay. This was a good call. I really. I hope you can find peace. I hope that I hate to hear what they did to your mom. I can imagine.
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible, and every day, you're just hoping to hear the lights go off or the helicopters come in,
and it's over.
And Well, it's not going to be over for a long time. Rita and Kathleen always talk about healing. It's going to be a long time to heal this town. Long time. And there's a whole lot of shit that hasn't even been touched yet. You know?
Yep. Yes, I do.
And you've seen, you know, you just talked to Kathleen and you know, that even scratched the surface, you know? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, follow the money trail here, and it's ugly. It's real ugly.
I think I'm going to be doing more of that too in Canton. It's just time to do it.
Yeah.
Look who's behind Scollins.
I love your show. I love what you're doing, and I appreciate you listening to my woes anyway. But
no, I'm glad you called. You're a great call
town.
tonight, Jay. Please call again if we have open lines like this. I really appreciate your call tonight.
All right. Take it easy, bro.
You too. That was Jay from Canton. That was a good call. See how real this is for people? Think about that guy. He's worried about his 80, I think, what did he say, 85-year-old mom? Something like that. They basically tried to I don't even want to say the word. I'm wondering if we should leave it at that tonight. That was a very good call. And you know what, Jay? You got balls. Just calling in tonight. I know you say you were turtling or whatever. You're not. You're a good man. I'm gonna say hats off to Jay tonight. Jay's a good guy. Who's calling right now?
This is Megan from Central Mass.
Megan, did you hear that last call with Jay?
I did. Listen, Mike, I watch you guys all the time. I love your show. I love the people you have on. I support everything that you're doing here. I cannot believe what is going on in Canton. I don't know what I would do if I was that gentleman, Jay, and if my mother were under attack like that. I'm trying to understand what Brian Albert has on Morrissey that has caused this case to go this far. That's what I'm trying to understand. I don't understand Maura Healey either. I'm up in the area where Enrique Delgado Garcia is from. I am so upset that young man lost his life up at the training camp. I'm so upset that nothing, we still know nothing. That Monday that after that happened with him, I called Joe Early's office and I just let them know. And the people that Enrique worked with, I talked with this woman, Tasha from Joe Early's office. She could not have been nicer. She said they were absolutely devastated that he was the nicest young man that they had all worked with. And the entire office was extremely upset. I'm wondering what is going on here in Massachusetts.
And Chuck Power for so long. That's what it seems like. It's when you're in a one-party state, whether it's Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter. When it gets to be generational, I think that's an issue.
Mike, right. I would agree. And I'm just trying to figure out why has Karen Reed, why has she been put under this scrutiny?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, whoever can get to the bottom of that in the end, I don't know. Like, it doesn't make sense.
And the fact, like you bring up Bettero's latest, report on what Morrissey was doing with Kate Peters, and I'm saying this is just unbelievable.
Yeah. What do you think about someone just commented, the feds are the only ones that can fix this. What do you think the feds are thinking right now? I'm sure they probably already knew about this, but they definitely know now, like that Morrissey has been lying to the court about Turtle Boy phones and sharing them with Kate Peters, his confidential informant. What do you think the feds are thinking about that?
I am really hoping that they're taking all this in. I'm just waiting for them to swoop in. I keep believing that Sean, from Florida, Sean on the Gulf, is saying just be patient. that they're collecting all this information and it can take them a lot of time. I just really hope that we do see something happen soon.
Me too. It can take a lot of time with the feds, but sometimes the feds, for whatever reason, will kill an investigation too, which, like, that's the scary thing. Like, sometimes they kill investigations for other investigations and other reasons that we'll never know about. So it's really
So that
worrying.
makes you think there's more corruption then.
I know, right?
Yeah, that will just blow my mind, to be honest with you. I just like the amount of life that people have. Like John O'Keefe lost his life. Okay, that is a tragedy. But to go after Karen Reed, she's really lost her life too.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And to lose Enrique, a kid who was in the prime of his life, who all he wanted to do was be a state trooper. And now he's gone too. And Sandra Birchmore. I'm just saying to myself, what is going on here? That's all. I just keep, wondering, when are we going to come out of this cycle?
It seems like every day we get a little closer. They just pull the string a little longer, like just a little more string gets pulled. How many Betterow letters do you think there might be?
I don't know that. Yeah, there could be quite a few coming. He is such an intelligent attorney. I love listening to him when he's on your show. He breaks everything down, and I'm glad that Turtle Boy has him on his team.
Me too.
I think he's going to give Morrissey a run for his money.
Me too. I am so confident in Betterow. And Betterow we trust.
Exactly, Mike. Exactly. Exactly.
As soon as I found him,
Listen,
I was just like, oh man, we're just gonna keep going back to Betterow, back to Betterow, back to Betterow, and it's like,
listen.
Yeah. Now Turtle Boy's doing it in court. Back to Betterow.
Right. Back to Betterow. I've shared your YouTube page with so many people because I'm just so impressed. I was very impressed with the fact that you had Betterow on there and how much he was able to break everything down. You guys do a great job covering all this.
I'm doing as good as I can do. That's all I can do. Do the best you can. I really appreciate that. You're a good caller, Megan. Where are you calling from?
Yeah.
Massachusetts?
I live in Shrewsbury.
Oh, Shrewsbury.
Yes, Shrewsbury, Mass.
Perfect.
Yes, I'm out in Shrewsbury.
I love it. I love to have a Shrewsbury caller. We got them all over the country, all over the state, all over the world. But now we got Shrewsbury, too.
You do. So listen, just keep doing the good work. I'm going to keep listening.
Thank you so much, Megan. Have a great night.
Yeah, I appreciate all your work.
You too. Have
Thanks,
a great
Mike.
weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
You too. Bye.
It's a good call. I'm enjoying the calls tonight. Maybe I'll take one more. How did I find Betterow? I think I've told this story so many times. It's like a common question that Maz and I get. Betterow gets it about us, too. It's funny. But it's basically, Betterow is friends with an attorney named Rich. Rich posts on Twitter. Rich is from Framingham. Rich has been in the news. He's like a good tax attorney, real estate attorney. He's actually got some cases where people got title fraud. He's representing people that had title fraud against them for their real estate properties. So Rich is like a high-level attorney, too. He was following the Turtle Boy and the Karen Reed case, and he basically got Betterow a little bit interested in it, and specifically about some of the comments that Wendy Murphy, this whack job attorney, was making on Twitter. And I noticed the comments that Betterow was making, and I said, oh, I've got a history with Wendy Murphy and her son, Grant Smith Ellis. I would, and I looked up Betterow immediately, and I said, this guy's a legit, I've had other attorneys on the show, especially criminal defense, some of them running for DA, and I know what a legit criminal defense attorney looks like. And, there's different levels of them too. There's like the OUI lawyers, a lot of them out there. Nothing wrong with them, but there's like the cream of the crop, which is the criminal defense attorney that does murders, represents FBI. And I looked up at Betterow, and it was just like look at his bio on his website, you know? And I was like, shit, this guy, like, as soon as I hit him up, I was like, this guy's, like, even before I hit him up, I was like, this guy's legit. Let's ask him. And then he came on the show, and I was just like, wow. And he wasn't even ready for it, and he was. And then by like the second or third show, it was on. It was on. And it was so funny, too, because every show that we did with him got good numbers. Like maybe the first show or the second show didn't get the crazy numbers, but every show the numbers were going up. And after like, I don't know, like the 7th or 8th time having him on within like 2 or 3 weeks or whatever it was, I was like, when is everyone else in the world going to realize all these other shows? Like when are they going to stop booking them? Because I knew that was going to happen because our numbers just kept going up. Like everyone was watching him. Everyone started talking about him. And then I think it was Turtle Boy and Surviving the Survivor. They had him on his show. And then it was just on. Like Melanie had him on his show. Like everybody was like, Bettero, we got to have Bettero on. So that's how the Bettero thing went. And he keeps coming back on our show, and we love him. Like Mazza, Bettero, Crawford, we're like I don't know, the three amigos. Like three's supposed to be a crowd, but it never is with us. Like we all compliment each other. Like it's a good match. And three guys, we're like friends now. It's like legit friends. And it's great to see him now representing Turtle Boy. And you could tell they are a good match. They're a good team. I think they understand each other. I think they complement each other. And you know, what Bettero has, you know, people see, it's funny because people see how well-spoken Bettero is and how witty he is and how good he isn't on the camera. The other thing Bettero has going for him, like Aiden has going for himself. And I think maybe, you know, myself a little bit, I see myself, hard workers. They work hard. They're not slouches. They enjoy it. They enjoy the work. When you like what you're doing, it shows. And you can see that Bettero loves being a criminal defense attorney. And not only that, people are like, why? How does this guy have so much time to do all these shows? Because he loves talking about it. He loves to talk about the law. He loves to educate. That's why. Because he's got a passion for it. It's like, why do I do so many shows? Because I friggin' enjoy it. Because I like it. You know? If I didn't like it, I wouldn't do them. Same with Bettero. He loves the law. I love justice and helping people and causes. My show hasn't changed. People are like, you change your show about Karen. No. My show has always been about helping people. You know, you look over the years, there was a doctor at one point who lost his license because he was doing medical cannabis. We helped him get his license back, reinstated with the state of Massachusetts. There was a kid that was jailed way back. One of my first shows, before even the Young Jerks. He was jailed over lyrics. A 16-year-old kid posted some Facebook lyrics. He's a rapper. The FBI came in, the state police, all these agencies came in, and this was right after the Boston Marathon bombing. And they all said, this kid isn't a threat. We're not going to charge him. But his local police, the Methuen Police Department, decided to charge this kid. What did we do? I'm a musician. I know all the artists in town. I got every hip-hop artist I knew to come on a show with us and shout out and support that kid, Cammy D. We had a protest. We got him free. We got that 16-year-old free. That's what this show's always been about. It's about justice, helping people, using a platform, using a community to come together and help people. When the Market Basket employees went on their little strike, we had them on week after week. We met this guy, Dan the Man. That's what my show's always been about, giving a platform to the people. So I love this. I really enjoy it, and I'm glad that I could have a small part in bringing Bettero out and then getting him hooked up with Turtle Boy. And I love that we have Mazza. Mazza's in the chat right now. I love Mazza. Mazza's the shit. So I'm very thankful this year. I met some good people. You guys got to realize too, this show was kind of on the way out. Like I was kind of Grant Smith Ellis basically became a part of my show and sabotaged me, and not just the show, but my spirit. And then this Lorna McMurray thing happened with an employee, this cannabis employee, and my show kind of came back. And I found like, well, we can get over the Grant bullshit. Because he's that kind of snake. He will literally break your spirit. And then the Karen Reed stuff happened. So I'm very thankful. Because this has been a long time thing, my show. And it's been like heartbreaking at times. Some of my best work, there was another show we used to do called The Two Hotheads. And we were at our peak. And I took my show off a network that I was with to go with my friend. And then my friend died. He collapsed. He had a heart attack. His name was Michael Malta, KOP. He died October 6, 2013. And that's when I decided to start the Young Jerks. And it was because of him, again, even though it's just the whole thing. It's just been a wild ride, I just got to say. And I'm glad I do it, because I don't know if I didn't do the show, I don't know what I'd do. I'd lose my shit. I need to be able to contribute, and I feel like this is my way of doing it. I love to do this. I don't like to go out, and I used to organize. I used to do a lot of face-to-face stuff and events and all this other crap, and I just got burnt out on it. What I like to do now is do the show. I used to write too. I used to be a print publication writer. I used to do a lot of journalism, but it takes a lot of time. What I really love to do is just to go live, just do a show, just talk to some people. So I'm really happy where we're at. I'm happy we can contribute. Free Karen Reed. Support Karen Reed if you can contribute. Give her some money. Her defense fund, freekarenreed.net. We're going to do a lot more fundraising for her as well this year. And also Turtle Boy. He's got a Turtle Boy defense fund. You should kick in some money there. There's also some other people facing charges. There's different defense funds. I would definitely contribute to them all if you can. I'm going to, if anyone else wants to call in, one more call tonight, 978-560-3155. If you got something to say tonight, you want to talk about Turtle Boy, you want to give some Turtle Boy some love. Maybe you want to talk about Morrissey, how much of a dirtbag he is. He's a liar. Maybe you want to comment that he should be disbarred. Maybe you want to make a comment to your governor of Massachusetts. Maybe you want to comment on the Canton stuff tonight. This is it before I go. We had some great calls already. 978-560-3155. I want to thank everyone who's been super chatting us tonight. It's very nice of you. Maureen just sent $19.99. She says, grab a meatball sub. You know what? I'm having wings tonight. The wings are in the oven. They're done. I got some carrots. I'm doing them for Mazza tonight. This is my Mazza tribute night. I'm going to do the wings. Maybe tomorrow night. Thank you so much, Maureen, for the $19.99. I'll try to buy myself a meatball sub tomorrow night. Marilyn, she gave $27.99 Canadian money. I think that's Canadian. She said, glad you're back again, Mike. Hope you're feeling better. I am feeling a little better, but you can hear it. Can't you hear the congestion? I'm still a little congested. I want to thank Glenn Lake. Keeps gifting memberships tonight. Hi, who's on the phone?
Gifting memberships.
You got to turn off your computer. Are you there? Who's on the phone?
I did. Yes.
Is this Gene?
Hello.
Hi, who's this?
No. It's Rogue County.
I can't hear you. It broke up there. Who is it?
It's the Rogue County.
Rogue County.
Yes.
Are you from Canton?
No, Medford.
Medford. Okay. And what do you have for us tonight? What do you think about everything?
You know, Mike, first of all, I'm glad you're feeling that, but
Thank you.
the stuff that came out today in that letter, that third letter, is just outrageous. I don't understand how no one has come in and in that town and that caller about his mom. How can this be happening? How is it no one has come in? to save these people or help these people.
It's shocking, isn't it?
Outrageous.
I mean, that
Outrageous.
is the system of justice in America, unfortunately. There is nobody.
So what do?
I guess
There
what
we
you do
go.
is all of us on YouTube and all these people supporting, right?
Yeah, I know. I just had to say it out because it's killing me. And Turtle Boy, thank God for him. But I sure hope he fares well.
Yes. What do you think about Maura Healey? What should she be doing right now? The governor.
You know, I voted for her. I won't vote for her again. You know what it is, Mike, right?
Yeah.
They're all. This is all political. They're all protecting each other, right?
Yep.
Don't you agree?
Yeah, I do.
They're protecting each other. This is what's been going on for years. And thank God for social media. Thank God for the age of communication. Otherwise, we'd be in the same place we always were. We're making progress, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Look what they're doing. Look what they're doing to Karen. Look what they're doing to Turtle Boy. Look what they tried to do to you.
Absolutely. I love that. I love what you said, that you voted for Maura and you're not going to vote for her again. I really appreciate that call
Absolutely
from Medford.
won't.
I love Medford.
All
Medfa.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for calling, Rogue
That's a
Tony.
girl. Okay, feel better.
I will. Thank you so much. Have a great
Go have
night.
your dinner. Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I love our callers. We got some good calls. You know what? I'm going to check Venmo, Cash App, all that. I don't think we got any tonight. I got a call from Lowell. We'll take one more. I keep saying
Fast pickup. We ask you to let us know that you are not a voicemail system, so you need to press 1 to take this call.
I need to press 1. What's going on? Who's calling?
Truella, I have 3 Dalmatians. Can you walk them tomorrow?
No. No.
Mike, how do you feeling better? This is Denise. I'm calling from New Hampshire, but I'm a Mass girl, Boston girl. I want to know something.
Yes.
So they got Morrissey that they're pulling up now. How can they do this in the Norfolk County?
How could they try Turtle Boy in Norfolk County? Is that what you mean?
Exactly. Yeah. How can they? With Morrissey, they got to call Morrissey. I mean,
As a witness, you're right.
exactly right. So how would they do this? Wouldn't they have to move it out of the county, or at least move it out of that area? But they're all involved in all those counties.
That's a good question. I'm not sure about that. You know, I
Well,
think
we'll
that's
have
going
to
to
ask
depend on
Mark
Vetero.
Vetero.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been wondering this all day. I'm like, oh my God, I'm reading this and I'm like, Kate Peters, Morrissey, all these people. And I mean, half of them are involved with Warren Reed. So they're going to have to pull it out of there. I think. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a trash lady.
I mean, I think they tried to avoid that by having the special prosecutor, but what's been revealed is that there is no. Well,
They
yeah,
can't. He's still working out of that county.
Exactly. It's been such a fiasco.
So I know I was a paralegal in Wakefield a long time, 100 years ago, and we had to pull a case out of the county that we were in because there was some crap going on. Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. Shit's fine. Let me ask you this: you're a paralegal. Okay. If they do pull it, like
I'm not now. Nope. Yep. I became a paralegal and a nurse, and now we own a trash business.
Let's say that they pull it to Middlesex County. I'll just throw that whatever county, right? Let's just say they move
the next one, right?
What do you think the chances are that Middlesex County DA says, you know what? We're dropping the charges. Yeah, I mean, do you think that could happen?
That's exactly what happens. That's why I said it, because that's what happened in this particular one, and they dropped it. But it was I don't know if they would drop one like the Karen Reed case. They would probably hear it and try it. and it would go nowhere. I don't think. But Turtle Boys, seriously, they'd be like, they wouldn't drop his case. They probably would have. Morrissey would have been disbarred. Morrissey would have been gone. Talking to Mike on TV.
Do you think Morrissey should be disbarred?
Oh my God! I think he should be in prison for everything he's done. He's done some pretty bad things, and it didn't start here.
Yeah.
It didn't start where we are right now. It goes way back. I mean, people know.
Yeah, there's so much
They'll
stuff.
find more.
We haven't even
They will
touched.
find
Yeah,
more.
on this show, there's like the O'Connell stuff, the developer stuff. There's a lot of shit in his past that you just kind of shake your head at, and you're like, "Wow, well, how did this?"
They're going to show. They will show shit with Healy. You watch. Healy needs to go too. She belongs behind bars.
Well, I'm not willing to go
She's
that far.
fighting for all the wrong things.
I don't think she deserves to go behind bars, but I think that she deserves to take some shit for not standing up on this.
Mike, she's covering.
Yeah.
She's covering things up. She's ignoring things. What is she doing for us? What is she doing? I mean, and I say us, my whole family's in Massachusetts. My whole family is, they're still in East Boston and Lynn and Tewksbury and, they're still down there. And it's like, I'm just over the line in Salem, but I still fight for Massachusetts, honestly. I've been up here for a lot of years, and this is the first year I'm voting in New Hampshire, and I'm pissed off at it.
Well, your vote will
mad
actually
about it.
count, it sounds like. So I really appreciate your call. I'm glad you called from Salem, New Hampshire.
Yeah, right over the line.
Right over the
Come
line.
Come up to Tewksbury Village and visit. Yeah.
I got family that lives up there, too, near there.
Near Salem?
Yeah, a little bit. More like, yeah.
Yeah, we're right on.
More like Plastow.
We're on Canopy Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're right on Canopy Lake, and the kids love it. I mean, they come up. But anyways, Mike, I want to just say that I'm so happy you're feeling better. Honestly, I felt so bad when you said you had COVID.
Yes. Thank you so
But
much.
You'll get through it.
I will.
You'll get through it. 6 months. You'll be taking naps for 6 months.
I hope not.
You will.
I
It
took a
kills
nice
ya.
nap today. That's why I'm like, I'll take the calls tonight. I'm feeling good.
You know what? Take another one tomorrow. Take another one every day as long as you need to. That's the only way you're going to completely
That's
feel
it.
better.
Rest. I know that. Yep. And I've
Rest
gotten a lot of
and
rest.
drink lots of water.
Exactly. There we go.
All right, Mike. Nice talking to you.
You too. Thank you for calling.
Keep doing what you're doing. You're my favorite.
Oh, thank you. What is your name again?
You and Mazda and Zetero, huh?
What was your name again?
Denise.
What is it?
Denise.
Denise.
Yeah, DNS disposal. That's usually what I'm under because I'm usually working when you're on.
All right. Denise from Salem, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I'm your favorite.
Yeah, you are. You, Mazda,
And Betero.
Mark Betero. Yeah.
Well,
Got to do it. Melanie, too. I mean, yous are all great. I have to say, I watch yous all. I listen to everyone. Even in Wales, I listen to I listen to Dylan in Wales. I mean, everybody has great things going on.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Denise. That was a good call.
Yous all give a little piece of everything. You know what I mean? Yous all give a lot, really, of just so much information. But I just had that question, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen with the trial.
Me too. I'm
And
pumped up.
Morrissey.
Yeah.
I hope to God they move it out of that. I hope they move it out of that jurisdiction. I hope they do.
Me too. This is going to be interesting. The shit is hitting the fan for them. So thank you so much for calling tonight, Denise.
All right. Take care, Mike, and keep feeling better.
You too. Thank you so much. Bye now.
All right. Bye.
All right. We're the Young Jerks. I think I'm going to check out now. Please don't call me at midnight. All right, everybody. I really appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching tonight. Next week's going to be big. Later on this week, too, we're going to have that Canton audit video. There's going to be that audit meeting tomorrow at 1 p.m. We're going to have some video of that probably sometime this weekend, maybe beginning of next week. We'll see whenever they post that. We'll have that. Tuesday, I believe there's another Canton Select Board meeting coming up. I think on Wednesday night is the night that we have the candidate for DA. I got to check the scheduling on that. I have some other things planned too. I don't know when. I'm trying to pace myself and kind of take it slow. I don't want to stress myself out too much, but there's a lot I want to get to. And today, just seeing that Better shit, we got to get Better. We got to get the, especially with the calls tonight too. We got to get Better Mazza, and Mike, the 3Ms. We got to do one of those shows soon. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much. Maybe I'll see you. I don't know when. I want to say like have a great weekend, but I'll probably see you. I'm guessing sometime this weekend because I feel like I need to do another show. We'll see what happens. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you next time. Thank you for all the calls tonight and all the super chats